Hello, Mr.Harland fans! This is it! It's the second video! Today, as well, we will be talking about another outlaw. Today we will be talking about Frank James, whose full name is Alexander Frank James. Born with that full name, but most people know him by Frank James. Like his brother, Jesse James, Frank was too a Confederate soldier and guerrilla in the post-Civil War period. He was an outlaw like his older brother, Jesse James. Frank was also part of the Frank James Younger Gang. And today we will be talking about Frank James because in excitement can get you. But I can't think. I'm having a brain fart. Oh yes, I forgot. In the previous video, we talked about, the Sundance Kid. Amazing. So today, we will be talking about Frank James, another American outlaw from the Old West. Alright. Let's get it going, shall we? I don't know why we're in this back area again, but I guess this is where everything good happens, or not. Frank James was born in Kearney, Missouri, to Baptist minister and Reverend Robert Solly James and his wife Zerelda Cole James. The couple came from Kentucky. He was of English, Welsh, and Scottish descent. Frank was the oldest of 3 children. His father died in 1851, and his mother remarried Benjamin Sims in 1852. And his mother... Oh, wait. Good Lord. It's a chicken run! Bawk, bawk! Run from the chicken! I'll be safe in this elevator. After his death, she remarried after Benjamin Sims' death. Oh, Jesus. She remarried a 3rd time to Dr. Reuben Samuel in 1855. When Frank was 13 years old as a child, Frank James showed interest in his late father's sizable library, especially the works of William Shakespeare. Census records show that Frank James attended school regularly, and he reportedly wanted to become a teacher. During the American Civil War, this is now Frank and his younger brother Jesse James' involvement in the Civil War. The American Civil War began in 1861, when James was 18 years old.
I'm not a loser. I can still hear you.
Gee, that person has a beat when they run. Which is a good one. The secessionists in Missouri, including Governor Claiborne... What the hell? Oh, there I am. In Claiborne, including Governor Claiborne Fox Jackson... Well, this isn't the area I wanted to go. Claiborne Jackson attempted to drive the Union Army out of the state, but eventually they were defeated. The James family was from the heavily Confederate western portion of the state on September 13th, 1861. The Missouri State Guard, including Private Frank James, besieged Lexington, Missouri. James fell ill and was left behind when the Confederate forces retreated. He surrendered to the Union troops, was paroled, and was allowed to return home. On his arrival, however, he was arrested by the local pro-Union militia and was forced to sign an oath of allegiance to the Union. After the withdrawal of regular Confederate troops in the fall of 1861, a bitter guerrilla conflict soon began between the bands of pro-Confederate irregulars, commonly known as bushwhackers, and the Union Home Guards. By early 1863, Frank, ignoring his parole and oath of allegiance, had joined the guerrilla band of Fernando Scott, a former saddler. He soon switched to the more active command led by William Clark Quintrell. Union militiamen searching for Fernando Scott raided the Samuel farm and hanged Dr. Reuben Samuel, though not fatally. Frank's stepfather, torturing him to reveal the location of the guerrillas. Shortly afterward, Frank took part with Quintrell's company on August the 21st, 1863, in the Lawrence Massacre, where approximately 200 mostly unarmed civilians were killed. Frank James was paroled again on July the 27th, 1865, in Nelson County, Kentucky. There was a report that after his parole, Frank was involved in a gunfight in Brandenburg, Kentucky, with 4 soldiers that resulted in 2 soldiers killed and 1 wounded. And Frank wounded in the hip. However, there is an alternative account that claims in the autumn of... Yeah, I'm having fun today. In 1865, Frank, who was in Kentucky going to Missouri, was suspected of stealing horses in Ohio, and that Frank shot 2 members of a posse and escaped. Hole-in-one. During his years as a bandit, Frank James was involved in at least 4 robberies between 1868 and 1876 that resulted in the deaths of bank employees or citizens. The most famous incident was the disastrous Northfield, Minnesota raid on September the 7th, 1876, that ended with the death or capture of most of the gang. Five months after the killing of his brother, Jesse James, in 1882, Frank James boarded a train to Jefferson City, Missouri, where he had an appointment with the governor of the state. Well, with the governor in the state capital. Gee, I'm having real fun today. I get my words bundled up in my head. I hear myself saying it in my head, and then comes out sounding like crap. Placing his holster on the Governor Crittenden's hands, he explained, and I quote, "I have been hunted for 21 years. I have literally lived in the saddle, have never known a day of perfect peace. It was one long, anxious, eternal vigil." He then ended his statement by saying, "Governor, I haven't let another man touch my gun since 1861. Accounts say that Frank James surrendered with the understanding that he would not be extradited to Northfield, Minnesota. He was tried for only 2 of the robberies and murders, one in Gallatin, Missouri, for the July 15, 1881 robbery of the Rock Island Line train at Winston, Missouri, in which the train engineer and a passenger were killed, and the other in Huntsville, Alabama, for the March the 11th, 1881 robbery of a United States Corps of Engineers payroll at Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Among others, former Confederate General Joseph Orville Shelby testified on Frank James's behalf in the Missouri trial. He was acquitted in both Missouri and Alabama. Missouri accepted legal jurisdiction over him for other charges, but they never came to the trial. He was never extradited to Minnesota for his connection with the Northfield raid. His New York Times obituary summarized his arrest and acquittal. In 1882, Frank James surrendered in Jefferson City, Missouri, and his surrender Frank James was taken to Independence, Missouri, where he was held in jail for 3 weeks, and later to Gallatin, where he remained in jail a year awaiting trial. Finally, James was acquitted and went to Oklahoma to live with his mother. He was never in the penitentiary and never was convicted of any charges against him. In the last 30 years... Oh, God damn it. In the last 30 years of his life, James worked a variety of jobs, including as a shoe salesman in Nevada and Missouri, and then as a burlesque theater ticket taker in St. Louis. One of the theater's spins to attract patrons was the use of the phrase, "Come get your ticket punched," by the legendary Frank James. He also served as an AT&T telegraph operator in St. Joseph, Missouri. James took up the lecture circuit while residing in Sherman, Texas. In 1902, former Missourian Sam Hildreth, a leading thoroughbred horse trainer and owner, hired James as the betting commissioner at the Fairgrounds racetrack in New Orleans. He returned to the North Texas area where he was a shoe salesman at Sanger Brothers in Dallas. The Tacoma Times reported in July 1914 that he was picking berries at a local ranch in Washington State and planned to buy a farm nearby. He was also a part of a Chicago investment group which purchased the Fletcher Terrell's Buckskin Bill's Wild West show, third in size after the Buffalo Bill, Pawnee Bill shows. In his final years, Frank James returned to the James farm, giving tours for the sum of 25 cents. He died there at the age of 72 on February 18, 1915. He left behind his wife, Annie Ralston James, and one son. He is interred in Hill Park Cemetery in the western portion of Independence, Missouri. Oh, great. Where did that ball go? Oh, there it is. Oh, thank God. He is interred... Oh, yeah. I already said he is interred in... He is interred in Hill Park Cemetery in the western portion of Independence, Missouri. Portrayals. Like any other outlaw, he's had a lot of portrayals in movies. The most recent portrayal was by Robert Carradine and Bill Tillman and the Outlaws in 2018. Needless to say, some people think the movie bombed. And I tend to agree. So from here on out, when it comes to videos and this point on, they will come out 2 every Monday. Hopefully, but since it did happen, it will be every Mondays only, 2 at around this time, what should be every single Monday from this point on. And yeah, I know It'll be sad. Don't worry, I'll be back next Monday. And as one YouTuber said, we shall do this very soon, my friends. But do not worry, you all get to watch me play golf. Well, this isn't really me. We're just watching some random kid run around in a building playing golf. And as I said before, we thank you today for joining me, and today's second video of today, talking about it. Ooh. I just inhaled a hair. Oh, that's nasty. We thank you for joining me today. Well, I thank you today for joining me in today's second video. And hopefully I don't keep botching this kind of stuff. But we shall do this again next Monday, my friends. And remember, let's go Blues! Remember the siren! Roar! Hey there, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment in the description down below. We thank you for joining us today and watching this amazing video made by the great Mr.Harland. We will see you next Monday. And remember, let's go Blues! Marching in, when the Blues go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in that number when the Blues go marching in. Goodbye, everyone! I gotta find a way to get out of this arcade. Gotta get out of here, I hate golf. Oh, it's time to escape the pizzeria and hurry before that ugly gator comes. Everything is slow, like he's here. Oh no! Oh no, I think he's here. Oh god. A meth gator! Oh. Good lord, I don't know where he's gonna come from. Oh, that was a bad idea. I can't see now. Oh god! Oh! No, no, no! Meth Gator! I hate Florida! Panthers stink! Oh! Where'd he go? Oh! Oh! Elevator! Elevator! Button, why are you not working? Where'd he go? Oh! No, no, no! Oh! Elevator! Oh! No! Ah! Oh. Well, that's all, folks, today. Oh. Goodbye. I'll need a rabies shot.